Welcome to the Coder Catch Up podcast. My name is Jamie Jones. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a new roles and permission system that Stripe has rolled out in the dashboard. This one is awesome. I've been waiting for something like this for a while. As you probably know, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, I'm a pretty massive fan of Stripe. I love everything that they do, their open source work, their product, everything, their developer experience. Absolutely amazing. Like hats off, 10 out of 10 to them. So basically they announced on the 25th of April that they have released new roles and permissions for their dashboard. And this is something that's been needed for a while, because basically you've got it had like a full owner and an administrator, and like it wasn't quite enough. So what they've done is they've added a few different roles. So I'm going to go through the roles that are available now. So if you haven't seen this part of the dashboard, they support giving as many team members as you like access to your Stripe account. Like you can add as many as you want. And when they first added teams and roles to Stripe, they basically provided three kind of levels. So you got administrative, read and write, and read only. And it wasn't quite enough. Like it did the job, but now when you need more and more people getting in there doing certain things, it's good to be able to restrict or change what they need access to, as well as you just don't want to kind of give things out and have everything exposed there. So this kind of locks things down. So what they've got now is administrator, best for business owners and company administrators. They've got developer, which is best for developers or people primarily using the Stripe API. So if you get any contractors or anything like that on, they need to do testing or they need to be able to get in there and play around with stuff, you can now give them that developer role. Analyst, so best for people who need full access to the Stripe data but don't need to update any kind of business settings. Support specialist, best for employees who regularly refund payments and respond to disputes, which is another great one, something that I definitely think I can provide some more access to people in projects I work with, so that's awesome. And view only, so best for people who need to view Stripe data but don't need to make any updates. So if someone needs to come in and just maybe check some data, see what's going on, something like that, great there. So now users assigned the new developer role can access the API keys and most settings, but it cannot edit any like team or bank account settings, which very easy to mess up. And if you are flicking between the test and production, it's easy to break something. It's very easy, even though it's a lot clearer now, but still, easy for those kind of things to happen. They renamed read and write, so administrator read and write, to analyst, but the permissions are exactly the same. Users assigned the support specialist role can view most data, subscription plans, payment data, charges, things like that in Radar. If you haven't checked out Radar, do check that out. It's awesome. And refund charges. But you can't edit any settings or modify any kind of rules. So that's really important there. So they've got a note here. So since many of your team members may be assigned this role, we limit what aggregate financial data they can access, such as gross volume or payouts. And it's nice that they've been really thoughtful of this, because in some organizations that really does matter and it's quite important, and you don't want that data kind of getting out. So basically you can now apply these roles right now, basically from your dashboard settings, and it's going to give you a much more granular approach and be able to tailor your access for your teammates. And just know that even just for organization, knowing like who's got certain levels of access, like it's just nice knowing that who can do what. So great little rollout there. It's not a huge update, but it definitely has a pretty big impact. So hats off again to Stripe. Awesome work. Check it out. I'd love to know your thoughts. Like, how have your experiences been with the previous roles and permission system? How is this going to affect you? And is it going to be more of a positive for you? Is it going to make a bit more of a headache to worry about knowing who can do what? I'd really love to know. Send through a tweet to @CoderCatchup on Twitter. Send through an email to codercatchup@gmail.com, or even just leave a comment on codercatchup.com for this episode. But other than that, that's essentially it. If you do have a spare few moments, I'd appreciate if you leave a rating and review in iTunes. That would be awesome. Also, if you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, please do check it out and subscribe, because that would be even more awesome. But other than that, we'll catch the next episode.